Hi guys, and welcome to Influential Designs. I'm Christine. I'm super excited to be here with you guys to share this class. Before we get too far into it, I do want you each to introduce yourselves and let me know something that you're interested in taking away from today's class. Awesome, I'm glad to hear that. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this class. And there are handouts, application guides on each of your chairs, so those are yours to take home with you and keep. If you want to write on them, you can, or if you just want to keep them, you can. Those are yours. I also want you to ask lots of questions today, and to get up and feel free to jump in whenever you're comfortable. I really want you guys to feel super comfortable and confident using these techniques when you go home tomorrow, so you can use them behind the chair and not be too nervous, hopefully. So with that, let's talk about today's agenda. Today's agenda is pretty great. We're going to start with the hashtag Create Education. I'm sure you've seen that hashtag out and about online. We'll talk about the design inspiration behind the influential design collections. We'll talk about the elements of design within Kenra. We'll go over the application elements and then walk through on a mannequin what this technique is going to look like, the color technique specifically. We'll formulate together for our model, and then we'll actually use what we've learned on our model today together to create a beautiful look. While she's processing, we're going to learn a super fun styling technique, so that's awesome. Once we're all finished with that, we'll finish up our model, we'll shampoo her, style her, and then it's time to just sit, take it all in, and ask any questions or talk about what we've learned today so you guys feel super confident with these techniques. So if that sounds good with you guys, let's get started. We will start with hashtag Create Education. I'm sure you've seen this all over social media. We hashtag everything, and that's how we kind of find our other Create friends and family out there. At Kenra, our Create Education team is dedicated to all of you guys, the stylists. We like to provide tools, techniques, and education that are super simple and straightforward. We really take pride in creating these strong relationships with you guys through both digital, online education, and live education like me today. So that's pretty fun. Our goal is really to inspire your artistry and creativity to help you achieve excellence behind the chair every day. I am super proud to be part of this team, and we love to have you guys as our extended family. So make sure that you're using hashtag Create when you're posting your work, and that you're tagging Kenra Professional so we can see your awesome work. And maybe Kenra will even share it on our social media pages. So that's pretty fun too. So let's talk about the inspiration behind this class, or behind this collection, should I say. The inspiration behind this collection, Influential Designs. So is anybody here interested in maybe learning some awesome new color applications and some really on-trend foil placements? Yeah? Awesome. And how many of you guys are following social media online influencers? David Lopez for one. Rockabilly Ruby is another one that helps create some of these awesome looks. Yeah? And would anybody love to learn a super unique styling technique or maybe some color techniques that you can totally customize to lots of clients? I thought you might be excited about that because these are the very components that have helped shape the color and styling techniques in the Influential Designs collections. The idea behind these collections are to bring you new and innovative color placement and styling techniques with each changing season. Our artistic partners, they team up with some pretty amazing online influencers, including this guy right here for this collection, to bring you these ideas. And you know, these are real stylists. They are behind the chair every day or working on set, and they just like to share their favorite techniques and products to help me and you stay ahead of the trends instead of kind of falling behind. So I think that's pretty great of them. So with that, let's get into a little bit of the technical education for these collections, and then we'll get some hands in our hair. Sound good? let's talk about the elements of design. The elements of design within Kenra Professional is our signature guide to hair color application. This is going to support our 5 steps or less approach to hair color, and it unites your inspiration with the technical application. So we break it down into 3 pretty simple categories: foundation, anchor, and accent. Our foundation color, whenever you hear foundation, this is going to be the color that's 75% or more of your overall look. So a lot of times this will be, maybe you'll call it your base color or your one-step color, but we will refer to that as our foundation color. The anchor color is a supportive color to the foundation color. It's there to create a little bit of interest, but not a lot of contrast. It's generally 1 or 2 shades away from that foundation color, and it can introduce a different tone. So just know that. And then an accent. When you hear accent, that's a bold color. This is there to create contrast and draw our eye to a certain area of the look. So these will be your highlights, or maybe a bold low light and a blonde. This could even be like a bright red pop or a hot pink or something crazy like that. So those are your accent colors. By knowing this, you can jump online and look at any of our past collections and the application cards and totally understand what we're talking about and what color is going where, knowing these terms. So we like to keep it simple. So just know you can do that. And from there, a little bit more, we're going to talk about our application elements. So the application elements are what you're physically doing, what's going inside the foil in this case. So are you guys familiar with weaves? Everybody's familiar with weave. Is everybody familiar with a slice? I thought so. I know some of you guys are probably familiar with the skip slice from some previous collections. Those of you who are not, it is a slice inside a foil where you're slicing and then you leave a little piece out and then you continue your slice on. And this is what that's going to look like inside your foil. And the key to this is to move that little skip around, and that's going to give you a little bit of light diffusion while still having some bold pops of color. For this collection and our last collection, so you guys might be familiar with this as well, we have our micro skip. So the micro skip is literally one of my favorites. Within one foil, you'll have a slice, a small skip, and then you'll weave. So that, I do have a little model here to show you guys. So that's going to look like this inside the foil. You've got your slice, your skip, and your weave. So by doing this, within one foil, you've got a bold pop of color, a little diffusion where you could possibly paint a low light or just have the natural peeking through, and then a soft blend on the other side. So this is one of my favorite ways to foil hair, and you guys are going to get to try this today, so hopefully it becomes one of your favorites as well. Sound good? Perfect. From there, before we get too far, I do want to talk about the 5 steps to formulation. And I know some of you guys roll your eyes, like we know how to formulate color, but I really think sometimes behind the chair we get in a hurry. So if you just take a second, check off all the boxes, your formulating will be 100% spot on every time. So just in case we need a refresher, first you're going to determine your client's natural level. And as a reminder, with Kenra we use the N series swatches as our level finder. So use that to determine your client's natural level. Then you're going to determine their desired level. Where do they want to be? The next thing you need to think about is what developer you're going to use for this application. Then you need to look at the amount of gray they have, and more importantly, where does that gray live? I like to remind people that if they're 100% gray in the front and 5% in the back, they're not 50% gray. You do need to formulate for 100% gray and for 5%. Because if you only formulate for 50%, you're not going to get that great coverage around that hairline, or they're actually a little heavier of that white. So make sure you know how much gray they have, but where it lives. And the last thing is underlying pigment. When you do this color to this client, are you going to expose any underlying pigment? And if you are you okay with it? Do you want to cancel it out? Do you want to enhance it? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about that underlying pigment? So make sure that's in the back of your head when you're formulating. And by following just these 5 simple thoughts, your formulas will be, like I said, spot on every time. Awesome.